Hey guys, Captain Obvious with another episode of Obvious Moments. Today we're going to talk about feminism, something that's very close to my heart. I identify as a feminist, but not your bitching, whining, sniveling feminist that wants to destroy other people's rights and freedoms. I am first and foremost a libertarian. I believe everybody has the right to do basically whatever they want if they're not causing harm to somebody else. And by causing harm, I don't mean spewing a word and next thing you know the guy hits the ground like he's been shot with an AK. I mean violence. I mean hurting somebody physically or financially. Okay? One of the biggest problems I have with this new feminist movement is this rape culture bullshit, which is exactly what it is. It's bullshit. Anytime you say catcalling is a rape culture, somebody whistles at you on the street rather than thinking, man, it's nice that guy took time out of his schedule to spend just 2 seconds and let me know that he thinks I'm beautiful. You guys interpret it as, man, that asshole, I'm degraded, I'm demeaned, oh, my life's over. Sure, I mean, when I say it, it sounds absurd, but amazingly enough, some people believe that when you say it, it's not that bad. When I say you say it, I mean third wave feminists that believe in this shit. A good way to test whether or not you're a victim is to line yourself up with other victims and think very honestly of whether or not you would feel comfortable telling your story and whether or not you think your story, when told to these other victims, would give them some sense of relief or compassion for each other or whatnot. So I just want to give you a scenario, okay? And this is a very real scenario. When you enter in rape culture in YouTube, the very first thing you get is Joe Rogan, which pisses me off to no end, because rather than focusing on real rape cultures and the diminishing horrors that these young innocent ladies and women go through in these horrible cultures, that's just, I mean, it's devastating. You know, they get raped, they get murdered or executed because they've been raped. Their families shun them. You know, they've been being raped since they were 8, 9 years old, you know, since their family decided to marry them off to some fucking pedophile. And what we get to listen to when we want to maybe show some compassion to these people or try and get some insight into what's going on, we don't hear their stories. What we hear is some bitchy, whiny little overprivileged scrag on fucking YouTube talking about how they feel they live in a rape culture because some guy whistled at them. It's infuriating to me. It drives me nuts. So here's the situation, okay? I want the next time you want to utter the fucking words rape culture in Western society, I want you to sit down and think to yourself, okay, could I sit down with the family and friends of a 15-year-old girl who was married off at the age of 8, who had been raped at the age of 9 and continually raped till the age of 15, at which time she left the house, went into her backyard to pick some fresh vegetables, and was raped. Now her body was fully covered. All that was showing was her eyes. Okay? And she was raped by another man. She was knocked unconscious when her husband got home, found her in the backyard, found that she was raped, turned her into the authorities. Her parents never even showed up to the fucking court date, and she was convicted of adultery and therefore executed because of it. Now I want you to think the next time you bitch about your rape culture here in the West, you sit down with that person and tell them your story about how bad you have it because you walk down the street in clothing that is specifically designed to make women attractive to the opposite sex. Specifically designed to do that. And the other sex found you attractive and whistled at you. Do you think you could tell them the horrors of your life? And do you think they'd be sympathetic to your plight? No, because there is no plight. There is no crime. If you can't handle somebody talking, don't leave the fucking house. Plain and simple. Jesus, I can't even imagine raising my children, to be this fucking sensitive. I mean, Christ, if every time somebody said something stupid to me, I flew into a rant, I'd be on this fucking YouTube 24 hours a day. I mean, the world is full of stupid fucking people that didn't learn basic manners as children here. But that's no reason to condemn the West as a rape culture. We live in the greatest society in the world. And you idiots want to destroy it to further some God knows what agenda. I don't know what the whole point of this is. I mean, you want all men jailed? Is that what you're looking for? I mean, fuck, I see these morons, this Ford, this one's a good one. I mean, this woman calls for kill all men. I mean, Christ, like, okay, well, I got a little newsflash for you girls. You kill all men, it's the end of the species. Just as you procreate, you need men to do it. It's a two-way fucking street. You can't live without us, we can't live without you. And our society will not go anywhere without either. So, that being said, I appall. I mean, rape is one of the most abhorrent crimes in the world. And it sickens me to think that a man could do that to a woman, because it's disgusting. I don't know how somebody could even get sexually aroused. It fucking makes me want to puke. These are the most degenerate people of society, rapists, okay? And we don't live in a rape culture, and that becomes evident because if somebody is raped, penalties for it, you go to jail. And in case you don't know what happens to rapists in jail, being sentenced to a jail sentence for 10 years or 5 years or 8 years is nothing compared to the horrors these rapists go through in jail. Well-deserved horrors. I mean, if it were up to me, crimes against the weak would be punishable by death. You take advantage of somebody weaker than you, that's it. You get the fucking chair. But, I digress. Once they get to jail, these rapists, they're then shunned and beaten on a regular basis until they do what's called checking out, which is they get sent to, it's called PC, protective custody, where it's a bunch of these fucking degenerates in a room, and they just all congregate there, and it's all the worst of the worst. I mean, rats, goofs, rapists, just child pedophiles, the most disgusting people on earth. Now, in my opinion, the easiest way to solve that would be set a fucking match to the place. I really despise child rapists. I think it's the worst crime you can commit. Raping a child or raping a woman is, I mean, there's no words to describe my feelings on the subject, okay? But keep in mind that when you fucking whiners claim rape culture and all this bullshit, it takes away from the real issues, okay? The real rapists. You guys take that rape and you make it a common fucking word that people snicker at, which is disgusting. Rape is horrible. It should not be made common. Realize things that you want to prevent. And going around yipping about rape culture this and rape culture that is doing nothing more than taking the focus off the real victims and normalizing rape. Because everybody hears it and nobody knows what real rape is anymore. Okay? And it's wrong. It's just plain wrong. And you frickin' feminists that go out bitching and moaning about this really need to think about your actions, because there are serious consequences. Okay? Next on the feminist thing. If you ever want to test an ideology, a simple way to do it, just, go and listen to debates. You'll have a feminist and you'll have somebody that's anti-feminism, or third wave feminism, I should say. There's a very specific feminism here, because although most people would agree in this world that women's rights are very important, I don't think anybody agrees with most of the third wave feminism BS, this rape culture, wage gap, and all the shit that's been proven to not be true. But you take one of them third wave nightmares and you take somebody that's arguing against it with all the facts and figures that prove them wrong, and you put them in a debate, and this person Person A here that has all the facts and figures will state them calmly and concisely and speak to the point, while the feminist will scream and holler, and every time this guy wants to talk, she's right over top of him, yipping and hollering to make sure that nobody can hear what he's saying. Because that's the only way this third wave feminist can win, is by silencing her opponents. It's like these safe zones. I want to tell you a little bit about these safe zones, okay? Feminist safe zone, where only feminists can go that believe in one certain thing, this rape culture. Let's use rape culture because that's the most fucking disgusting thing, is the way they think they live in a rape culture. So here's your safe zone. Feminists can only go there that believe in rape culture and they can't voice an opinion otherwise. Free speech is totally taken out of the equation. They can only go into certain rooms, they can only do certain things. Everybody else has to stay away. Total segregation. Kind of reminds me of the 1940s with black people, where only whites could go to a certain area and only whites could belong to this club and only whites could do this and black people weren't allowed and black people couldn't pose any kind of free thought or any thinking or any suggestions. They were thought of a lower life as of a lower life form, which is what these feminists are doing now, and they think it's right. It's segregation. And you know what? The next time I hear white privilege, I'm gonna fucking puke. I have worked my ass off for everything I got, and it's not because I'm white or privileged. Because trust me, if you want to know about white privilege, phone your local government or get in touch with your local government and ask them how many support programs they have in place for white males aged 16 to 45. Okay? And then ask them about every other race and gender. And I'll guarantee you the only one that lists a fucking big ass zero is the white males. White males are quite possibly the most beaten up and abused group of people on earth. White males, white boys, we take all the shit. We get blamed for everything. We don't have any fundamental rights or freedoms that we can call our own anymore. God forbid you start a group for white males. I mean, that would be the end of the world. You know, everybody else in the world's got a group, but white men age 18 to 30 or 18 to 45, you can't even utter the words. It's thought of as ridiculous. How could you dare? You're a racist, you're a pig, you're this, you're that. Yeah, we can have Black Lives Matters, black only groups, white, Latino only groups, Chinese liberty groups. We can have feminist groups. We can have all these groups for different races and ideologies, but we cannot have a white male group. Remember that words do have power, but it's not the power to hurt those. It's the power to take away from the focus from those that really matter. Not some bitching, whining, middle, upper class, sniveling woman who thinks that just because men find her attractive, she can say, do, or revoke anybody's rights or freedoms that she sees fit. I urge you guys to really look into this. There's some wonderful people. Sutherland, she's a wonderful young lady. Watch her stuff. Lauren Sutherland, she does a lot of really great editorials and interviews with people. She's a very intelligent young lady. I think she's really fighting to put universities back where they need to be. Speech isn't just about spewing your own bullshit. Okay? It's about arguing to the death for those that you would spend your lifetime to fight against. I mean, I don't believe in racism, and I don't believe in feminism, but I would never, in my wildest dreams, say that these people couldn't talk and voice their opinions. Although I don't agree with it and I'll argue against it fervently, it's everybody's right to be an asshole, to give an opinion, to say what they want. Remember that, because the minute they take their freedom of speech, the next person they come for is you. It's Captain Obvious on feminism. Rate, like, subscribe, or hate. Leave comments. Good say. If you think I'm wrong, I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. Why all white men should be killed. Why it's all white men's fault. Why, let me know. Come up with a well thought out argument, not just shut up. We don't live in a shut up culture. I look forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.